This video is intended to describe a rather dynamic lightblade power pack that will basically serve like an external hard drive to a pre-existing Light-Tech mainframe via this wire and alligator clip seen right here, which will hook right to the pre-existing construct. Joining me today shall as always be my trusty whimsical stick figure chakra map, to which I'll utilize quite a bit for various chakra stimulation Q in reference to the dissertation. And so without further ado, I'll discuss the primary blade bands seen in a circular fashion around the structure that will serve as the containment field recirculation of the energy. So of course, when it comes to all these other various exotic frequencies seen through this whole structure, somehow, some way, they've been terminated to the primary wire or the main vein of the construct, that of copper, brass, and silver spooled together. And so the aspect of why I start with these laterally appearing circular blade bands, they'll serve as the particular frequency containment recirculation that will basically work to govern the excess energy in the sequence to be a standing wave third-dimensional artifact of a very particular vibratory intentional goal. Starting off with the transmutation ratio seen right here, which is a very tried and true, well-tested configuration, that of hematite and smoky quartz offset in ignition sequence all the way around the perimeter for an unbroken loop. So the aspect of hematite provides a very strong grounding of excess energy through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth for reprocessing. In tandem with the smoky quartz providing the same energetic stimuli, provides a very powerful composting of negativity into positivity, just like the hematite in tandem, by successfully together working to be a strong ground point of dramatic grounding of excess energy composting through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth for consistent etheric resonance dialysis. And why that's very relevant too is it plays quite the contingent integral role to provide a very strong grounding contact patch to the other radiuses of the entire construct, which is quite literally clutch for its engagement. Then in the middle would be a rendition of a foundation/restoration ratio combination. Starting off with the clear quartz to work as the absolute neutral acceleration of energy for this entire sequence, so it works as a subcapacitation to ignite the blade band sequence in a very neutral, easy amplification pathway acceleration. Going into red jasper, the quintessential root chakra stabilizer in the mineral kingdom, that of the quintessential earth elemental vibration in the most stabilized, just about, I can get my hands on, particularly in bead format, to serve as a very strong in-the-body experience containment recirculation. In tandem with the clear quartz, offset would be seraphinite, which is quite integral towards the goal of a particular winning configuration named restoration, due to the fact of this green ray crystal named seraphinite is named after the seraphim archangels and has a dramatically powerful, utilitarian, unanimous healing effect from the entire auric field from top to bottom. So it works very diligently to dismantle patterns of dis-ease found stored in the chakra column, and works very gently to disperse them from the atomical and energetic levels, which is very conducive towards very powerful healing emanations as a true master healer in the age. So that's why, in tandem with the red jasper, to be a primary focus to stabilize that full capacity healing is represented in this closed loop sequence of the foundational restorative band. And so this band right here is that of a serenity derivative frequency focus, which is very, very soothing by design. Starting off with the, once again, clear quartz to be a neutral accelerant of this energy. Going into lepidolite, which is a very high lithium potassium bearing mineral, which provides among the most soothing vibrations possible for the nervous system and the emotional body through the entire auric field. As a little irreverent joke, I put it to the equivalent of being Xanax on a stick when these are properly built out for its intensively soothing, immersive, calming vibration. Then clear quartz into Larimar, another true master crystal that is a generator of oasis of calm, being a quintessential 5th and 6th chakra stimulant of deep goddess, oceanic, calming, soothing energy that's become quite in vogue in this timeline since it was discovered in the early 80s. Besides its shockingly beautiful color, it also has a very, very calming, soothing vibration of extreme calm and serenity as well. Then clear quartz into kunzite, which is a lovely pink ray, high lithium bearing concentration crystal, just like the lepidolite, with a more specific soothing divine love resonance to that of the divine love of creation, which is very nice to have a very advantageous soothing capacity of that direct pink ray divine love soothing alignment. And that's exactly why this blade band, of course, in sequence all the way through, is quite the serenity-inducing, calming frequency of very high degree. And so that be the three primary blade bands, like I mentioned, would be the serving to govern and recirculate the energy of this device, this powerpack external hard drive at max efficiency. So those would be the dominant recirculation output as the energy, of course, expands and radiates and performs its function. I got to clear my throat because I got a little Xanaxed out there when directly engaging these guys, because it is quite soothing and very calming. And so right here at the very bottom, these would be the exterior as well as the interior crystals to support the theme of the Sophia powerpack. Starting at the bottom right here of golden healer quartz, which is a combination of iron pyrite and magnetite synergized together, which makes a very further grounding, shielding influence for this energy. But why that's very relevant in application for this dramatic device is that it also has a very powerful grounding feature of other etheric energy to firmly ground the energy through the system very advantageously, and most importantly, ground the healing energy potentiality through the cellular structure as a very powerful shielding, stabilized manner, which is very, very advantageous as another foundation to, of course, make the magic real. Then right here is a lovely specimen of turquoise. I must clear my throat, I'm getting rather verklempt. So the turquoise is, of course, a favorite of millions for thousands of years for a very good reason, in the capacity of its sheer beauty, of course, and also its fifth chakra stimulation, that is impeccable elemental spectrum concentration of earth, fire, water, and air in one fifth chakra focus, which promotes wholeness as well as full pranic healing stimulation by simply being more aligned with knowing thyself. So its healing legendary capacity has been acclaimed for thousands of years, which I will omit to try my best to keep consolidated for the cataloging purposes of this construct. Then right here are two golden ray crystals of special placement. This is golden healer quartz, which is a very fantastic high heart direct gold white light source attunement frequency, which goes a very long way, in tandem with golden azeztolite, which pervades this very similar idyllic stimulation of the direct gold white light heart attunement. So of course these two together work fantastic in vibrational compound interest for direct source imbuement, which could put this in the realm of being a little bit of a holy grail resonant generator through direct high heart source attunement. Goes a very long way in the aspects of sorcery, I would say. Then right here, this would be oceanic calcite. I actually gathered myself from the Oregon coast a while ago. And so the aspect that makes it remarkable is that this particular calcite, which is a white ray spectrum fire elemental crystal, actually is quite underrated in the mineral kingdom for burning stagnant energies from top to bottom through the auric field off by simply burning off the fluctuations that block the natural flow. But what makes this truly remarkable to highlight and illustrate is that this feature of this stone has been tumbled by the ocean herself for millennia. God literally knows the answer to that. I'm not even going to try. But the point is that the indelible mark of the ocean shaping that over countless waves has made the stone what it is, a very powerful soothing as well as clearing oceanic influence. And this next section is a trifecta quite in vogue right now for its master utilitarian light body healing capacity to work together. So star argonite and seraphinite, larger dose of what's mentioned right here in the blade band, is seen right here with Tibetan black quartz. So all three of them are very distinctly different frequencies of different designations and mineral concentrations, yet they all share this one common denominator of being a tremendous full light body activator from top to bottom. And all three of them work diligently to dismantle patterns of disease stored in the chakra column from top to bottom. Hence they become the restoration holy trinity. And so they work fantastic in a trifecta to quite simply triangulate the healing energy capacity of the entire chakra column's ideal configuration. And to further augment and support those particular three features would also be this Faden quartz right here. So Faden quartz, which can be seen right here, has a little fracture inside of it, actually endures a growth cycle of constantly breaking and restitching, which can be seen mimicked here. And so how that mimics in vibrational auric field resonance is the aspect of working to solder shatter points and breaks from the continuity from top to bottom at a consistent ratio. So naturally, with its neutral quartz amplification of other frequencies for this entire closed loop circuit, it works very diligently to further work like vibrational fixoplat, as a little bit of an analogy, to solder any continuity blockages from top to bottom of the auric field even further, with many supporting elements to quite simply make it so. Then right here will be a combination of master transmuters further, starting off with amber. Amber is a fantastic petrified tree sap from primordial time, though not technically a mineral, has been praised as a metaphysical artifact of purification for millennia. So the aspect of the amber is a very solar, sunny, deep purification of negativity at deep levels, just like the aspects of the shungite as well as the black tourmaline, but in a more golden ray sunny disposition, as opposed to the heavy black ray concentrations, which are highly contingent on earth star reprocessing. Such as black tourmaline, another stone quite in vogue in this day and age for mitigating negativity into positivity, much like the transmutation wavelength, provides a very powerful grounding pathway to earth for reprocessing of negativity into positivity, transmutation. Then right here will be a lovely big specimen of noble elite black shungite, which is another crystal quite in vogue in this timeline for a claim of mitigating 5G harmful wavelength energy we contend with as a modern species. And with the carbon ray capacity of black shungite being like a carbon filter, charcoal filter, for the entire auric field, also has a distinct compatible resonance with the carbon-based physical avatar, at least for now, to have a very, very deep atomical processing, transmutation at the deepest levels possible, and provide a very powerful shield against negativity while it's at it, of course. Then above that would be a very special stone called Percelli Bluestone. So this particular stone was exactly the stone utilized to erect Stonehenge, which was actually quite the ambitious endeavor of its time, which the location of the quarry for Stonehenge actually was hewn 400 miles away from Glastonbury, where Stonehenge was erected. So obviously the vibrational engineers of the time really thought the juice was worth the squeeze to make it so as well, based on its very interdimensional piezoelectric grounding dimensional properties that made it very appropriate for a megalithic massive energy structure that is one of the wonders of the world, pretty much. So that's a pretty neat little fact right there. Very, very, of course, homage of deep Mother Earth resonance of that of the... Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Earth resonance, this would be the Sedona red rock scene right here. So Sedona is a very famous magical place on the Earth due to its high iron concentration found right here in this rock. Actually makes for a very powerful grounding of high radial energy through the physical body into the Earth to quite simply make the magic real. So that's why, of course, the acclaim of Sedona goes a very long way, based on it being a very magical, special place. And the science behind that would be the very, very high iron concentration that grounds radial energy of the higher etheric domains into tangibility in one huge, lovely, beautiful place. Then above that would be another lithium-bearing crystal called lithium quartz, which is actually very much a straight lithium induction of the quartz spectrum, which has been well employed with the lepidolite and the kunzite, yet the quartz, of course, makes for a natural amplification of neutral ambient energies, particularly in a closed-loop sequence, and this particular quartz structure has high amounts of lithium found in the structure to provide the ultimate soothing amplification. That would be very appropriate for the designation of this construct. Then on the back side, it's rather minimalist. For this part will be, of course, the side that will be concealed. But the big idea right here is the placement of the smoky celestial quartz, which plays quite the critical role to work as an auto-regulator and dimmer switch and governor for the entirety of the construct, which makes it quite adaptive to auric field requirement receptions at a quantum moment notice. So these are quite exceptional and rather far out even by my standards to properly chronicle correctly, and that's of course very funny. But the aspect that makes it relevant here too is that with that celestial quartz, it works like I said, the adaptogen for the entire frequency pitch of this power pack to ensure the resonance is the most comfortable ingestion rate possible to govern the output pitch to meet one where they're at any given moment and work from there. Its importance in light tech cannot be overstated, but I do my best to try to illustrate it simplistically in any one of these given dissertations. So right here also would be a lovely specimen of flint, which has of course been hewn into an arrowhead for a distinct purpose as an homage of First Nation utilization of this rather magical stone that looks very simplistic and very humble at a glance, but indeed has a very, very powerful metaphysical connotation. So the aspect of flint has a very distinct high grounding capacity of the Earth star stimulation amongst the greatest in the mineral kingdom, of grounding energy into the Earth very, very powerfully to firmly anchor the field. And why that's relevant too is that with that much anchorage, grounding, it also firmly grounds and anchors the astral body higher sense capacity into physical alignment for the correctly functioning human avatar vehicle. And so, of course, that's why it was well praised by First Nation renditions. Hence, it was always utilized as a focus to be made into a practical magical artifact for day-to-day life, such as hunting with magic. And then on the back side right here would be the three spectrums of kyanite. Actually, on both sides of the selenite, there is kyanite, which I was going to save for last. So I'm going to discuss now the wooden core of the device itself. So all of these crystals mentioned thus far have been affixed to a base core of oak, which comes from Sedona, Arizona, from a very special particular spot in a creek a little bit north of town. And so oak, of course, is quite the legendary wood of great lore, which I will omit once again to consolidate this and make it as digestible as possible because it's already a very far out video. And the aspect of oak being a very strong wood also has a very nice carbon-based strengthening structure to the physical avatar, which is quite advantageous. And where it's quite contingent is that with the silica radius built around it, aka crystal energy, it also serves as a further compatible resonance of these rather high frequency emanation configurations with the wood to make a very easy transference to the carbon-based physical avatar. That makes it quite integral for making the magic real based on tangibility and resonance. And so now I'll be discussing the white selenite that has been hewn to both sides of the core for a very integral purpose. So selenite by itself is already a very fantastic 6th, 7th, 8th non-physical chakra stimulant back to one's Godhead that works very effectively clear debris between higher guidance and conscious self. And so that alone makes it a very extraordinary crystalline ally to employ for the true spiritual seeker. But with that high frequency induction, alignment also works as a further burning of stagnant energies from top to bottom through the entire auric field of density that is not of divine alignment. So by itself, sounds like it's already the best master healer ever. But where it always gets very exciting for me to discuss and highlight is this critical feature. So in this nearly 18 minutes of this rather far out crystalline dissertation rant, it plays this critical feature. All the crystals mentioned thus far, and yet to be mentioned, of course, are running through a closed loop sequence. So as they run in conjunction energy-wise with the selenite, selenite takes the entire crystal pitch. It works to amplify all the crystals, it works to purify all the crystals, but most importantly, it works to bring harmonization and equilibrium to the entirety of the crystalline pitch that always is the grounds of making it truly triumphant, spiritual in action that's very adaptive based on spiritual guidance at a quantum moment notice. So that's the part that's always very exciting to discuss, is the absolute sheer overwhelming divine efficiency that makes this truly an ambitious spirit tool. So next, I will be discussing the 4 spectrums of kyanite affixed to the selenite to be further transfer routes. And so for this next section, I'll be utilizing whimsically fast penmanship intentionally to do my best to illustrate the rapid transferability of the kyanites utilized in the structure. So black kyanite has a heavier dose seen here on the backside to have more of a heavy concentration of rapid grounding discharge as a priority baseline, as well as a black kyanite affixed underneath the blade bands over here. So there are in total 4 spectrums of black kyanite seen right here. So the aspect of black kyanite is absolute bar none the most rapid transfer energy into the earth, absolute quick as possible. It takes all excess radial energy very, very swiftly through the root chakra into the earth stars, absolutely quick as possible at the speed of literally quantum light, which is also one of those master contingents to actually making the magic real for via vibrational tangible resonance, as well as with that kind of high frequency grounding induction also serves like another safety regulator or surge protector to ensure the excess energy is getting to the earth absolutely quick as possible, no matter the route system required, as an ultimate defragmentation of frequency resonance, which goes a very long way for tangible magic and comfortability of this engagement. Then next to that would be orange kyanite, which rapidly stimulates the sacrum to very high capacities to, most importantly, mitigate limitation imprintations of bridge past blockages that would be affecting one's creative I am template power as they are living their highest life. Then over here would be green kyanite, which is a very fantastic high heart chakra stabilizer and stimulant and transistor to basically bridge past habitual patterns at a very high ratio. Then over here will be blue kyanite, which has a very effective third eye stimulation to mitigate cross interference between the left and right hemispheres, aka whole brain thinking, aka whole awakened third eye. So the four together, of course, are quite rapid in their rerouting transfer of energy very quickly. It makes it very, very discouraging for stagnant negative energies to maintain the field, not of one's divine resonance by design. So that's why, of course, the four of them together also make the most rapid reroute rebuffering as another layer of etheric Teflon that is very discouraging for energy to stick and stagnate with that much rerouting process in the whole transmission sequence. And that actually would be the entirety of the concept. Okay, so now that all the crystals have been documented, a little aspect that's pretty obvious and self-evident at this point is that this is quite the dynamic power pack that has quite the vast range with a very heavy concentration of purification, stabilization of healing, and great calming serenity vibrations with many contributing factors that are quite supportive towards the endeavor of a very calm, stable, master healer frequency that's going to be serving at a constant effect emanation, like I mentioned, to be affixed to a pre-existing mainframe with this clip to run the current through the entire wire at a high frequency pitch ratio. Well, I guess that's it for now. 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with us all.